Welcome to Driving Immersion on YouTube. In this episode, we are at Indianapolis on the road course. Um, Similar to the old Formula One course, except for we are skipping the bank, which would normally be turn number one. Now, we've gone through the setup process as well as the qualifying, but I've had to restart it a number of times because this car, and I don't know if it's the car or if it's a track or the random race that it creates, this car is not behaving as it did throughout practice and qualifying, and the setup that I have is virtually meaningless as I am struggling to keep up with the other cars. I am able to get ahead, but the ability of the AI is a lot higher than I guess what I was driving against during the practice session. So I've gone straight ahead to the race itself. I am skipping the practice and qualifying, which I've done already. Only one thing left to do is check the setup. Okay, so we are getting tires and fuel. See how we are here on fuel. We have 46 laps, as this is a 60-minute race. That should be reasonable enough. So that is a view of the road course here at Indianapolis. Again, it's based off of the Formula One course that was there in the early 2000s. I happen to live just a matter of about 5 or 6 hours away in the Detroit, Michigan area, so I was able to attend most of the races there, and attending a Formula One race at Indy was actually a very nice experience because you park across the street, you walk in on race day, and you can buy grandstand tickets. I believe they were a reasonable $80 a piece, and each time I was able to sit right across from the pit row or right across from the timing tree that you see there, that standing pillar. Before Formula One came to Indianapolis, that tall structure that you see there, that is just above the pits, did not exist at all. And it was the wealth of Formula One that demanded that all of this was built, which really brought Indianapolis back into the modern times, because it was just an old racetrack, and in fact, if you sit in the grandstands, you can tell that it's old, but still quite a spectacle, actually. And again, it's a very great venue for races, so I don't think Formula One will ever go back, but if the World Endurance Championship were to go there, it would be certainly worth going there. And of course, the Indy cars go there, but they use the oval, which is a different total type of racing altogether. So enough of that, let's get to the race. We are driving the Ginetta LMP3.
do this.
I didn't think that I touched him at all, but it looked like I spun him out. I hope that wasn't the case, but I don't believe I touched that car. Anyway, I have the penalty system turned off. It's already a lot of work just to get by the AI. So between practice and qualifying, we have to switch over to the hard slicks as the temperature had gone up about 20 degrees, and that is Celsius, so it's a major change. I think I was actually practicing in the late afternoon, about 5 p.m., and qualifying was at about 3, so I think that may be where the difference is.
Okay, we've got some pressure from behind. Start thinking about your defense.
So I do have a full load of fuel, and it's making a big difference on how the car behaves, but we'll struggle on, I guess. Now this car is not very tolerant to curbs, inside or outside, so you have to be in the practice of just avoiding them altogether, especially in the rain. I've actually had a race here at Indy road course in the rain, and it's terrible in the rain. There's a lot of puddles that form in the very areas that you would use for braking and on the race line itself, so it's terrible if you ever have to race here in the rain. See, the car is very heavy, so much heavier than I had it during practice, and I had at least half a tank of fuel.
That's your fastest first sector time.
I was afraid of that. obviously the full load of fuel has a great bearing on the grip of the rear tires, and that's what I'm struggling against right now. And I don't believe the tire will get back to normal until it gets to just under 60 liters. And you can see that I have 76 or so. Oh, terrible on the braking. And now I'm last in the class. Okay, so right now I'm within a second of the fastest practice time that I was able to achieve with this setup, but I'm really struggling. This car is definitely not behaving the way it did. Okay, the rear tires are a little bit warm. That's not good. So I'm just trying to be patient until the car actually comes in. Again, it's still pretty heavy, and I probably shouldn't have started with this much fuel, but what can you do? Okay, and everything is going right. We should start seeing faster times or faster sectors at this point.
That's your fastest second sector. Keep it up. Nice one.
also slowly falling behind.
Okay, you've got good consistent pace. You're going to need to pick it up a bit. Let's push hard.
See, there's too much weight in the back. Very different from practice and qualifying. I'm just waiting for the fuel to run down. Maybe that will make a difference, but right now, this car is way too much to handle.
Pace is slowing. Let's pick it up. Come on.
Well, I guess I'll be racing with the GT3s. Oh, the tires are getting too hot. At least the back ones. I'm falling behind even with the GT3s. Absolutely does not tolerate curbs. Can't even keep up with the GTEs. Terrible car. Well, I'm not going to put up with this car. if you happen to see this video, let me know if you have any success with the Ginetta LMP3. I've actually spent a lot of time with this car, setting it up at Daytona road course. And just like here, I did very well with the practice, even the qualifying session. But once we get to the race, the car is just a bomb. Not very good at all. There's not a thing that it does that is similar to what it's like during practice and qualifying during the race. Yeah, I'm actually very disappointed. It's actually a pretty cool looking car. I already have a Liege in the LMP2 class, and I was looking for a car in the LMP3 class. I may have to go with the SMS or the Slightly Mad Studios fictional car, if they have one in LMP3. So that's going to do it for this episode. I hope that we would have gone longer and actually been competitive in a race with this car, as I do like it, even though it just feels very underpowered and you're always struggling with the setup, but it's good to have a challenge, I guess, but this car really sucks. Again, that's going to do it for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get notified when we have another video. I'll surely have one up soon as Formula 1 is starting. And I'd like to have a car fielded for a race in Sebring, but obviously Project Cars 2 does not have the Sebring track, so I was hoping to make up for that by using the Indy track, which is not a bad track, but this Ginetta is just a terrible car. I'll have to look for another car, and hopefully I can put together a car with a nice setup by the weekend. So again, thanks for joining us, and that'll do it for now.